Today I wanted to talk about frugal pantry staples that are a must-have when you are preparing for emergencies or just saving money by using your pantry. Hey everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. I'm Ginny, and today I wanted to talk about frugal pantry staples that can help us in emergency situations and every day to save money. So I think it is so important to keep our pantries as stocked as possible. As the best we can right now with the prices of everything, it is extremely difficult to keep ahead of this, but we need to keep it as stocked as we can. And having those frugal pantry staples for things that we can make in our home, it saves us a ton of money. And if we've got all these staples stocked up, we are going to be much more prepared for emergencies. So these items are in no particular order. I think they are all important in your pantry, but they are really affordable still, so we can get ahead of the game on these items, which is going to save us in the long run. So we can use a little bit more money to put away those more expensive things as well. So the first thing I always like to make sure we have plenty of is rolled oats. Rolled oats are so versatile. You can do so much with them. You can grind them up into flour and have oat flour. You can make oat milk with them. You can put them in your muffins, just make breakfast with them. There's just so many different things to do with rolled oats. I think they are really important to have in your pantry, whether you are storing oat groats or the quick oats. As some kind of oats in your pantry can definitely be extremely helpful, and they are still really affordable. The next thing on my list is flour. All-purpose flour is what we store in our pantry, but whatever kind of flour you use on a regular basis, I think is important to have in there. You want to make sure on expiration dates and things like that, especially if you stock a decent amount of like self-rising flour, it will go flat over time, but you can always add, baking powder or leavening agent to it if it does go flat. The next thing on my list that is really frugal is dried beans and lentils. I absolutely love having those in the pantry. They're an extra source of protein when you don't have tons of meat. I think that meat is wonderful to have in there, and we should all have some if we are meat eaters, but beans and lentils are wonderful because you can still get that protein. You can boost up your protein in your meals with it, and lentils cook really fast, like rice usually, right around the same time as rice. So having lentils in there can be super helpful, and they're really like a bean. They don't have a whole lot of flavor, but they do add a good texture and protein, so spicing up your lentils can definitely be helpful. And whatever you mix them into, they're going to kind of take on that flavor, which is great. Rice is another really frugal staple that I think is important in our pantries because we can stretch meals with it. And you can get rice still really cheap, actually, if you're buying larger bags. I have seen 50-pound bags on like our BJ's app. Can't get it in the store, unfortunately, but I would check your local wholesale store if you have a membership there, because 50-pound bags of rice still are only around $25, and 50 cents a pound for rice is a great deal. And I also, at Walmart, you can find 20-pound bags of rice, just plain long grain white rice. The Rico or the Walmart brand usually are right in the $10, $11 range for a 20-pound bag. And you can use rice in so many meals just to stretch it out. Again, not a lot of flavor, but it takes on the flavor of whatever you're cooking it with. Pasta is another one that's still really affordable, about $1 a pound, a lot of places. Sometimes if you can find it on sale, when I find it on sale, I grab as much as I can. That way I can stock it up for a cheaper price. Once in a while, our local stores will put like one specific shape of pasta on sale for 50 or 75 cents a pound, and I will snag up that shape just to get extra into the pantry. I don't care what shape it is when I cook it usually, and we use all different kinds, so we'll find a use for it somewhere, definitely. But if you're making soups or anything like that, you can throw in any style pasta, any shape or anything like that right into a soup to help bulk it up. It's also wonderful for casseroles and all sorts of salads. Butter is also on my list, and I know that butter is a lot more than it used to be. It has definitely climbed in price. I think that it's about $4 a pound here, which seems to be quite pricey. But if you look at keeping all of your staples in stock in your pantry and making things at home, you are going to save a ton of money. Even with buying, that expensive butter, having that on hand is so much cheaper than buying prepared foods that already has the butter in it. The next thing on my frugal list is eggs. I know eggs are wicked expensive right now for eggs. They're about 50 cents an egg here where we are. When you're paying $6 a dozen, I think that is just crazy prices. But they do provide a good amount of protein, and they are wonderful when you are cooking from scratch at home. You're going to need eggs, and it can save you a ton. Again, just like the butter, it's going to save you when you're making things at home. You can save a ton of money from those prepackaged items. The next thing on my frugal list is spices. Buying individual plain spices is probably the best way to go because they are the cheapest usually when they're not mixed in a blend or something like that. We can easily make our own blends in seconds when we've got a good variety of spices. And if we buy the individual ones and keep plenty of them on hand, we know that we can flavor up those more bland foods that help bulk up our meals so we can have them when we need them. The next Frugal Pantry staple is canned tomatoes. You can really do so much with tomatoes. You can use it for the bases of your sauces. If you want to make your own condiments, a lot of them have tomato products in them, your barbecue and ketchup. You can use them for so many different things. Great for chicken dishes, beef dishes, all sorts of stuff. Potatoes are also on my list. I think potatoes are wonderful. Again, they can be used in such a wide variety of ways. Making your own hash browns and just cutting them up, blanching them, freezing them. It's really not a difficult process. It does take a little bit of time, but you save a ton of money doing it yourself. Lots of things that you can do, even just boiling the potatoes and putting soup over the top or something like that. You can really stretch your meals out with potatoes, and they're still fairly affordable. And if you have a local potato farm around, you can really save a ton of money. We usually, in the fall, we try to stock up on potatoes, and we buy them in 50-pound bags, usually at least 2. You can can them, freeze them, dry them, do all sorts of stuff, but you really can save some money. We're only paying $15 to $20 for a 50-pound bag of potatoes, and that goes a long way even with a big family. The next item on my Frugal Pantry staples is canned and frozen vegetables. Whether you're growing your own vegetables or purchasing them from the store, a lot of times your canned and frozen ones are a little bit cheaper than the fresh. They don't have quite as much nutrients in them, but they are important to have on the shelf. If you're growing as much food as you can, definitely canning and freezing them and getting them on the shelf is super important. It will save you a ton of money. We also love to keep canned and frozen fruits in our pantry as well. We grow a lot of fruits here ourselves. We grow blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. We keep all of those in the freezer all winter long. We can up different kinds of syrups or pie filling or jam. You can do so many different things with fruits, and sometimes you can get them on a really good deal at the store. So stocking up on those when you can, however you can be a huge money saver as well. And the last thing on my list of frugal items for your pantry is canned meat. It is a great way to have quick, easy meals in your pantry. It is really affordable. It lasts a long time, which is wonderful. In an emergency situation, you're going to have the protein you need. They still are really good, and you can really dress up canned meat in a bunch of different ways with your rice, pasta, tomatoes, all those spices, you can really do some wonderful things with it. We make tons of meals out of canned meats. And that's it for my must-have frugal pantry staples. I think they are so important. Keeping that pantry full is not only going to help you in an emergency situation, it's also going to help you save money on a day-to-day basis, because you're not having to run back and forth to the store. You're saving time, you're saving money. And if you find things on sale or any kind of discount, or you're growing your own, it really adds up on the savings. And if we see something on sale, we will try to get as much of it as we can if it's something that we use a lot of. So we grab those deals, and you can can them up yourself at home, or if they're already done, that is wonderful because there's no work involved. Just get it right into the pantry. We love that as well. If you have other staples that you think are a must for a frugal pantry, put them in the comments down below. Let's help each other. We want to be prepared, and we want to be able to make ends meet. And in these times, it is extremely difficult. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you next time. Bye.